If the golf course proves to be unsupportable, what would you propose to do with the property?
If somewhere down the line it becomes very clear that we can't get close enough to make it something that we think it serves enough people, provides enough service to our community, that we're not willing as a community to pay those dollars if we can't get it to break even. Well, at that point, there are lots of options. Many of them have been already listed here. I think it's again, as we said, 340 acres in the center of town. Linear parks could work. Open space could work. Again, the Hilton does have the right of first refusal on a lease one of the golf courses that would give us some income. So there's lots of things. If in fact we wanted to sell it, we for sure would have to come for a referendum. Anything over on $500,000 is owned by the town, you need to go to a referendum for public approval. So the public will have a lot of input at that point.
I don't know that I'm at a point where I think of it being at its demise. It's a little hard to think of it right now. But I think if it ever did come to that point, it's going to take a tremendous amount of due diligence to figure out exactly what is the best option.
So I would take a hard look at it from a rational perspective as to what we can do. I don't think it's in financial ruin right now, as I said. If you look at the revenue side of the equation, it's actually not bad at all. One thing I can tell you is this, is I would never ever approve for any of that property to be developed. At minimum, it would have to stay as parks and open space.
You talked about having some room to increase the revenues. Like what, and how soon? And I assume you would say we have to do the investments we've talked about.
Right.
Here. Okay.
Yep.
So let's just assume we have to spend that money through a bond issue of some kind, etc. So how do we get where we need to go, and how soon can that happen?
This is done, and I feel like we need to at least acknowledge that these are individuals that live on this course, and if there is a way to run this as a town business, if you will, I think we need to give it that opportunity, run the analysis. Let's see what that looks like, all encompassing, and then we can really make some good decisions.
I want to see us treat everything on equal footing. I don't want to see us demonizing one recreational activity or the other. A big problem with our golf course is the uncertainty, the political uncertainty. The council thought this was settled over a year ago when we looked at the reports and said, okay, let's do these improvements to the community center, let's do the irrigation.
Just a comment. So when we look at being able to provide services for the community at large, obviously there is a substantial number of golfers that do use that facility.
The only one that I see is different is about somehow public access to this property, which would tell me that you would have not as many golf holes. So I think that does give, if that's one of the givens, then you're already saying we're going to have to free up golf holes for public access for some other reason. You can't have public access on golf courses with people hitting golf balls. It just doesn't work. So that one bothers me. I think that's kind of saying we need to free up some space. And I don't think, to me, that's not a given. I think it's possible, but it's not a given. Maybe your given, not mine.
This is just not financial. There's a lot of other aspects, just like the aquatic centers or the parks or a playground. It's just not financial. It's quality of life. Also, how tied in is the community center to this? Because that's an asset I'm not willing to negotiate on. I want that community center. And we want to look at improvements to it. But if golf were to go away, what impact is it on the community center?
When I started out first, and I mentioned my bullet points, number 3 was broaden the general public access. I was not intending to do turf reduction on the 36 holes or specifically looking at doing that.